or the. Hey there, I'm going to answer your Gilmore Girls questions now, so full disclosure, spoilers ahead. So if you haven't watched A Year in the Life yet, you should probably not watch this if you don't want it to be ruined. So I'm going to dive right in here. Question 1. Which Gilmore Girls character would survive the longest in a zombie apocalypse? I'm going to go with Emily Gilmore because she's badass and has that panic room and just seems like she would be prepared and wouldn't take shit from anyone, including zombies. Is Rory the one who is prophesized, the one whose name is whispered by the winds? Yes. I don't know what that means or what that reference is, but I'm going to say yes because Rory's amazing. Is there anything that indicates Rory wanted to have kids or was ready to have kids? I don't think there's anything in any of the seasons, whether that's the original series or also the Year in the Life, that showed that Rory was ever thinking about having kids. It was always so career focused. So I don't think that that's something she really thought about or was planning for, obviously. Yeah. Should Rory have an abortion? I think that Rory should definitely consider it. She should weigh all of her options. Like, having a kid isn't, an easy thing. I can't really speak for what Rory should do. I'm not Rory, but I would want to weigh all my options and figure out what was best for me. And so I hope that, and I think that Lorelai and her family would be there for her during this decision to try to figure out what's best for her. And I definitely think that maybe that's something her and Lorelai will discuss and figure out. Should Lorelai have had an abortion when she was 16? I don't think that it's ever really a great idea to be like, you should have had an abortion after you already have a baby. That seems a little problematic, but I think that she definitely should have considered it, and I'm sure she did. I don't think that Lorelai is the type of person to just, do something because of outer expectations, so I think that she probably did weigh those options and decided having a baby at 16 was the best way to go. There are a number of now famous folks who have had guest spots on Gilmore Girls in the original run, as well as some familiar faces who made cameos in the reboot. If you could pick one famous one-timer who could have been brought on in a larger capacity, who would it be and how would they play into the story? I would pick Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night Live because I'm obsessed with her and I think she would have fit in so well in like the quirkiness of Stars Hollow, plus her tie-ins to Melissa McCarthy from Ghostbusters would be cool. I feel like she would just be someone like weird in the audience during the musical or something like that. I'm not sure really what her role would be, but it would be amazing and that's all that matters. Of the characters not brought back for the reboot, who did you miss the most? I personally wanted Madeline and Louise to make an appearance and was totally disappointed when they didn't. For me, I would say Kristen Ritter's character is Lucy. I know that she was just on there towards the end, but I really loved that friendship for Rory, and I think that it shows the different levels, like Lane from high school, Paris from Chilton, and then college, and then whenever Rory was kind of discovering more about herself at Yale in those later years, I think that Lucy's character was really fun. Maybe they were roommates in Brooklyn together, or Rory could have run into her whenever she was doing the line story where she's just like waiting in the line that has nothing going on. I think that that could have been fun and spunky and something that could have added to the reboot. What would have happened to the story if Rory had said yes to Logan 10 years ago? I have so many feelings about this. I was so annoyed whenever Logan asked Rory to marry him at the end of season 7. And I respected that she said no because like it wasn't right for her at that time in life, but I was so mad at Logan for just being like, well, it's either a marriage or nothing. So that was annoying. And I just don't think that she would have said yes. Like for me, there's no universe where Rory would have said yes at that question. I think that Logan could have stayed with her and not ended things because of it. But I don't know. I don't think Rory is the type who gets married right out of college. So yeah. What is one thing you would change about the reboot? I don't know. I loved it for all of its like character flaws and like how it wasn't perfect. I just really love that. I wish that Logan wasn't engaged would be the one thing. Like I love that relationship because I'm Team Logan. So if Logan could not be engaged, that would be cool. But I get that they're adding some, tension, like they can't actually be together situation. So whatever. But yeah, if Logan wasn't engaged, that'd be pretty cool. How do you feel about the Paris Doyle split? I have mixed feelings about it. I wish the Paris and Doyle made it because they were such a good, power couple. But I also love that they each kind of found their own new thing and that they, were still raising their kids together and trying to be as amicable as possible as you can with Paris. But I think that ultimately they're both doing what they need to do to have successful adult lives. So I respect it. What do you think Michelle's husband looks like? I think that he's super buff and attractive, but skinny and nerdy and super fun. Maybe I just described my type, I'm not sure, but I feel like Michelle is with someone who's super smart and successful and probably maybe a Neil Patrick Harris type. Are you secretly hoping the Wookiee is the father? No, definitely not. I wouldn't wish that upon Rory, and the timeline doesn't match up, but I want the father to be Logan, I guess. Or Paul. What if it was Paul? Just kidding. She didn't see him ever. Would you have slept with Dean even though he was unhappily married man at the time? Well, I really did love Dean in high school, but I think by the time Rory slept with him, I wasn't really into him anymore. But to be fair, I feel like I might have done a similar situation to Rory. If there was this dude that I was super in love with previously and he was telling me all these things oh, the marriage is over, I want to be with you, I probably would have believed him and I probably would have had sex with him. And Rory, I feel it's hard. It's a very hard decision. I wouldn't have been proud of it though. I would have regretted it and it would have been bad. I wish that I could say definitely not, but I probably would have. Do you think that Rory deserves Jess when it comes down to it, or should Jess get someone better than Rory because she's a sociopath? Well, you know what? I think I'm not Team Jess, but I can see the appeal in Team Jess, but I actually really, really love Jess and Rory as friends. I have an ex-boyfriend from college who's one of my best friends, and I think we wouldn't have worked out in a relationship, but I think that we work well as friends, and I think that that's what Rory and Jess are for each other. They can be that support, but they're just not meant to be together in a romantic way. So I don't want them to end up together ever. I just want them to continue to be supportive and there for each other. What did you think of the last 4 words? Do you think there will be another Netflix revival? I was very shocked by the last 4 words, but I guess when you think about it, what else could they have said in 4 words that would have had such a huge impact? So I think that it was perfect and unexpected and kind of blew my mind, and I was like, what? And I had to rewind, and I thought there was more left, and then it was that, and so that's crazy. I don't think there will be another Netflix revival. I would be happy if there was, and I'm happy if there isn't. I'm open to whatever the Netflix universe will give to us. What is your favorite Kirk moment or job? Kirk has so many good moments. I really love, I think, whenever he has the night terrors when he's starting to date Lulu and they're staying at the Independence Inn, and then he comes down and sees Luke and Lorelai kissing. I love that moment. That whole storyline is really fun, but Kirk just has so many. I also love whenever he makes the t-shirts that say Babette ate oatmeal. That's a cool thing. Kirk's just top-notch Stars Hollow resident. Who do you think the father is of Rory's baby, and who do you wish it was? I think the father is definitely Logan, and I just wish that a baby didn't exist. I don't really want it to be someone else's. I just want Rory to not be pregnant, but she is, and that's real life. Shit like that happens. So yeah, but I'm not sure what that would look like. I don't think Logan's gonna leave his fiance for Rory or anything like that. So I definitely think that if Rory raises this baby, she's gonna be a single mom. So we'll see what happens in the Gilmore Girls universe. How annoying was the Stars Hollow musical? Wish that part was shorter. Felt like that part dragged. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I like the idea, but I just think it was too much. A little too much. But it was pretty fun and it makes sense. But I feel like with such limited time in the reboot, they spent a little bit too much on that. I think it could have been like 1 or 2 songs instead of like a million. How do you think Rory's career is going to end up with the book? I think the book isn't going to be the end-all be-all for her career, but I think it's definitely going to be like a starting point for something new, and it's going to give her kind of like the confidence boost that she needs. Maybe, holy meta, it could turn into a TV show. What? That'd be so crazy, right? Taylor Dosey is all worked up in the year in the life about getting plumbing over septic. But if you listen carefully, Rory tells Dean the town had a month-long carnival for doing the very same thing somewhere late in season 1 or early season 2. Holy plot hole, Batman. Well, I did not pick up on this, so you're a better Gilmore Girls fan than me, but I guess whenever you're a writer of this quirky town, you can only think of so many quirky things 15 years later to have happen. Man, that's crazy. It is so much more painful to watch Luke and Lorelai date other people for so long as an adult watcher. The sexual tension in the pilot. How am I going to last for 5 more seasons of this? Well, I kind of love it going back and watching them in the earlier days because it's so painfully obvious to everyone watching that Luke and Lorelai are supposed to be together, and then they date all these people who are terrible for them. But I think that it really helps build their relationship, and when they finally get together, you're like, yes! You know, it's fun. Okay, so these last 2 questions are from my dad, which I think is really fun, because he once bought me a Yale t-shirt because Rory went to Yale, so you know, he knows that I'm a huge Gilmore Girls fan. So he wanted to know if I would pick Dean or Logan, and I am fully on board with Team Logan. In high school, I was very into Dean, and now looking back, I'm like angry at my high school self for loving Dean so much. He was so terrible, like so terrible. I just got swindled by his dreamy good looks. Ugh. So Logan forever, Life and Death Brigade forever. That was my favorite part of the reboot, the Life and Death Brigade scene. So yes, Team Logan. Yes, always. And then his other question was to compare Stars Hollow to Cranberry Township, which is where I grew up. And I would say Stars Hollow and Cranberry Township are nothing alike. I feel like Stars Hollow is super cute and has like independent stores and stuff, and Cranberry's just like big box stores and a bunch of Starbucks and boring people. Am I a little biased? Probably, but Stars Hollow isn't real, and Cranberry Township is a suburban nightmare. Out of everywhere that I've lived, I think that Harrisonburg is the most similar to Stars Hollow. It's like a tiny town where you'd run into like the same people at the bar, and like they have participated in some parades and events and stuff, so I think that Cranberry isn't very similar to Stars Hollow. Maybe it's like Woodbridge. I don't know. Probably. But yeah. Those are all of my Gilmore Girls questions. I hope you liked them, and I hope you enjoyed the year in the life because I loved it. And yeah, Gilmore Girls forever and ever and ever.